McCoys here in the Civic Center. We're getting it 6-4, only 2 field goals, 3 field goals now scored in the game. It's been really Tigers clawing at one another.
Well, like you said, they're shooting at each other. It's the Hatfields and McCoys. Only they're firing blanks right now. And again, I give the defense credit for that.
Tennessee Chattanooga with the advantage on the boards thus far, but it's the Buccaneers with the 2-point lead.
Well, that's a lot of rebounds for this early in the game, but of course that's because there've been a lot of missed shots.
Held free and the foul, no doubt about it.
And you can see how aggressive both these teams are defensively. They got a chance to get their breath on the sidelines, and again, they're making a play on every pass.
That's the 4th team foul. He bumped right into Redden. Redden a starter tonight, basically because he plays good D. So both teams, I think, in the beginning said, we'll sacrifice some O to make this a close defensive struggle.
And, of course, Redden, too, is a very physical player, and they were worried about who would guard Rodney English for them, and Redden has done a nice job on him. We haven't heard from English.
Nelson, who could score, he was wide open at the top, but elected to go to Stewart just in the game. Outshot rooms out. What else is new? Sneed. He missed inside and traveled before he took the shot.
Well, that's the kind of shot they want to get from Nelson, but you could see he was a little bit outside his range, and again, the defense had pushed him out. As he went up for the basketball, the defense put pressure on him with the body and shoved him just a little bit outside his normal shooting range.
Palmer in the game, and he draws the foul. Here is a little guy, Eric Palmer, just a sophomore from Boiling Springs, South Carolina. He is very quick.
He's 5'6", and he's in there to make something happen. And when he comes in the game, something usually does happen, and usually it's positive for the Buccaneers.
Sutton back in the game, the starter. And Eric Palmer, who shoots 53%, not that many free throws so far this year, only 8 of 15. And he gives his team a 3-point lead, 7-4 with 13 minutes left to go in the first half. I'm Dave Voloshin along with Terry Howland. Nice to have you with us today. Not that time. Down to threes. And Sutton looks in. Nelson with the move, and that's why he's all conference right there.
That time he didn't settle for the turnaround jumper. He pulled the defense to him and took it to the basket. Well, that was a nice move. Again, man-to-man defense that extends out to the perimeter. There's a tough no Pelfrey, and Sneed, who's come in and played a couple of good minutes so far, got the ball for his Moccasins. Tennessee Chattanooga down by 1. Alford all over Sutton. Now try to re-trigger the offense. Another turnover. Right now, UTC is playing without their playmaker, Tim Brooks, and he is a great assist man, averaging almost 7 a game this year, and you can see that they miss him out there.
Talford has left the game. Story is back in. You lose some offense there, but you pick up defense again. Redden has left too for Tennessee Chattanooga.
Again, neither team has been able to create the kind of turnovers that they can take advantage of at the other end of the floor, which we've seen them do so often in other games.
Now there's an air ball by English. Is that defense, or are these teams just sloppy?
I think it's defense, and of course, both teams have played 2 games already, so maybe they're trying to make tougher plays.
Again, good defense, and finally on the second opportunity to tip in, I think it goes to Sneed. Tennessee Chattanooga back in the lead. Only one team will go to the NCAA, and this is the type of pressure and the atmosphere you figure you're going to get in a conference championship.
Well, with 22 and 23 wins, both these teams can make a case for an at-large bid, but again, it has never happened in the Southern Conference, so they know that if they want to go, they've got to win tonight.
English with another air ball, and here is a guy averaging 18 a game and shooting 41% from the field. Sloppy play again, and look at them hit the deck. Stewart save. Nelson, you got it.
You can see how hard you have to work to get a basket and how hard both these teams are playing. The only reason they had an advantage that time was because
two of these Tennessee State players were on the floor.
English to 3 to tie. Nelson lost the ball, but Pelfrey reached in.
Well, this is a good move by East Tennessee State. They know that they need English to play well. He's an excellent player at both ends of the floor, really rebounds the basketball. They're trying to get him untracked, and that's why they're going to him right now.
That's the 15th foul on Tennessee Chattanooga. Nobody can get the upper hand. 10.5 minutes left to go in the first half. 3-point game for Tennessee Chattanooga. Game there, and what a game here. A little different. This is all defense. 10-7. Tennessee Chattanooga over East Tennessee. Both teams have had 3-point leads, and it's been all defense. And some people may say this is a poorly played game when you look at those numbers. But, Terry, I just see so much defensive effort on both sides.
Well, neither team is playing tentatively. I mean, they're playing hard. They're going at each other. And there's so much at stake here, Dave. I think probably that's it. And often you get a game that's not pretty, but the intensity level is definitely there. And I think we'll have a close game.
Defensive games are not pretty, but that's usually what will win you a championship, and that appears to be what will determine this thing here. These are experienced teams. 4 seniors and a junior on East Tennessee. Look at the spin move by Dennis, and he's on the scoreboard finally. He'd been shut out. It's a 1-point game.
But he had to beat 2 guys, Dave, to get a basket. And again, that's what I say. The baskets come so hard because the defense is playing so well.
Sutton, nice spin move. Now the offense may loosen up a little bit. 5 for Sutton. The lead 3 again for Tennessee Chattanooga. Duke in a good game today.
Great clear out that time for Sutton, enabled him to go one-on-one.
A deuce. Just 2.
Calvin Tauper takes about half his shots from that range, and usually he's outside the circle from 3-point range. Here's a young man who had arthroscopic surgery just a week or so ago. Missed the last home game and came back to play the last road game against Appalachian State.
Back into the game comes Red. Pelfrey leaving the game for East Tennessee, and Sneed, who's played very well off the bench, gets a bit of a breather too.
Sneed played well, and that big lineup served UTC well.
Stewart, no, and a charge call. He used the arm to push off.
And again, they had the isolation that time with Nelson trying to come back inside, and he tried to do the same thing that we saw Sutton do, but you saw he pushed off with that right arm as he went to his left. You want to protect yourself by holding that arm out, but you want to hold it stiff. You don't want to push against the defense.
There's a fine line, but you can see it. Here's Pelfrey. No. Nelson, another rebound. He's been doing the main work on the boards for the Moccasins, and they lead in that department. There's a tough shot by Sutton. He's got 7 as he starts to heat up. A couple in a row for him. Tennessee Chattanooga back by 3. Silver, no, and Nelson got the rebound. A foul underneath as Sutton tried to hit his 3rd in a row. It's on Talford.
That may be a good idea for both teams to sort of go to one player and focus the offense. Both of these are very balanced offensive teams. They get scoring from a lot of different places, but maybe in a game like this, it's so physical, they need to focus their offense on one player. Sutton is getting hot. Go to him until you force the defense to adjust to him, and then go to somebody else. And that might be a good idea for East Tennessee State as well. Both coaches are racking their brains to try to figure out how to put points on the board at this point.
14-11 our score. No team is led by more than 3 in the Southern Conference Championship in Asheville, North Carolina. And that remains the same way. It's been nip and tuck. The first 5 minutes, only 7 points were scored by 2 teams that average in the 80s. It's just been terrific defense. Both coaches, Mac McCarthy, you just saw, and Alan LaForce, that was the game plan, to keep it close by a defense. 15-11 the score.
East Tennessee posting up English now, and they'll move a lot of different people into that post area. They bring English outside. You can see them running the little baseline shuffle.
Look at Red and right in on Story. I mean, wearing it. And there's the alley-oop and a good block. They call it on the inside player. You could see the hit go out, Terry. It was on Woods.
They worked very hard to get that situation, and Rodney English asked for the basketball. Woods saw it, but when he recovered back underneath, and that's definitely a foul.
I guess if you can't move the ball in the paint down low, try it above, huh?
This is a nice pass and a good idea because the defense was anticipating the cut to the ball. And what Rodney English did is he waited behind the screen and asked for it over the top.
English not on the scoreboard yet. Their leading scorer, 18 points a game. They've played the D on him. And that's one of the reasons that Bart Redden started for Chattanooga, was to just get in this man's face.
Yeah, Mac McCarthy was very worried about Rodney English, and his defensive game plan has been excellent so far.
71% free throw shooter, misses them both. And Chattanooga, with their biggest lead, could increase on that.
East Tennessee State switches to the zone.
Who's been hot, hits a three, and now it's a 7-point game.
That's 11 of their 18 points from their fourth leading scorer, Kelly Sutton.
English couldn't hold on. Redden tries to save, and so does Sutton, but he traveled.
I like what East Tennessee State is doing. They're going to Rodney English. They are focusing their offense on him right now. They know they've got to get him on track. He hasn't scored in the first 12 minutes and 20 seconds of this game.
He averages 11 a game, and he's there right now just about with 10. And his team is now up by 7.